Obviously, they've got their issue with Dubois. We'll see what happens, but that's for them to overcome now. And it's a very difficult. And I have to say, it's right up there. You know, it's difficult when you got two fighters in the fight. You know.
Eddie Hearn just warned Daniel Dubois to cancel the Oleksandr Usyk fight. The words may be diplomatic, but the undertone was explosive. Calling it a very difficult situation at this stage screams crisis. Why now? Why this vague timing? Something's clearly wrong behind the curtain, and Eddie's passive delivery just poured gasoline on the fire.
With Shakur, it's the same kind of thing. If after Zepeda I have a great opportunity for him, he's going to be working with Matchroom.
Right.
If I don't, he's not going to be working with Matchroom. And that's actually the right thing.
Usyk didn't hold back. He threw verbal bombs. Calling Dubois crazy and greedy isn't just trash talk, it's personal. His tone was mocking, but his eyes said something else. Why such a sharp outburst now? Is Usyk lashing out because the fight's slipping away? Or does he sense Dubois is ready to vanish under pressure?
Daniel! Where is Daniel? Okay.
Adam Smith stirred the pot hard. This illness is no coincidence. Falling ill right before the cameras roll. Fans are calling it a stunt. Smith didn't dismiss the rumors. In fact, he validated them with that calm delivery. And that's what made it worse. This doesn't sound like flu. It sounds like an excuse ready to explode.
Of course, Daniel Dubois gets ill just around the press conference time. A lot of rumors, speculation, names.
Frank Warren just exposed the chaos behind the curtain. He sounds more like a man watching an empire collapse than a promoter dealing with a delay. Lost money, lost momentum, and no clarity. If this fight isn't canceled already, it's hanging by a thread. Warren's disappointment screams what no one is admitting. Dubois might already be out. Quote, quote.
Well, he's pissed off. I mean, he was a big fight. He's trained very hard. If you don't fight, you don't get paid. You imagine the cost involved in a training camp, you know, booking places to set the camp up, bringing the sparring partners in, the nutritionists, the chefs, trainers and everybody, and you don't get paid. It's a massive loss. You can't insure it. Or if you do, it costs a fortune to insure. But very, very disappointing.
Duke McKenzie just turned this into a family betrayal, calling it a slap in the face to his own father. This isn't about contracts, it's about respect. If Dubois really pulled out, it's not just the fans who'll be heartbroken. It's his legacy, his bloodline, his pride. This just became personal, and the backlash could be brutal.
It's just wrong. In my book. But you know what? I also think that, what he's done it's like a slap in the face for his dad.
Johnny Nelson didn't just react, he compared the Dubois chaos to the Conor Benn disaster. That's not a light comparison. When Nelson said the news was changing every hour, it exposed just how unstable this entire situation really is. Behind the scenes, something smells off. Fighters don't pull out this close to a mega fight unless the pressure is boiling over or unless they're being advised to. Dubois' team hasn't clarified a thing. Social media is flooding with mixed signals and boxing insiders are baffled. Nelson's expression of disappointment was raw. He didn't defend Dubois, he challenged him. And that says it all. Even the most experienced voices in British boxing are confused and frustrated. Meanwhile, the silence from Dubois' camp feels louder than any excuse. The reality is, this situation is spiraling fast, and if a cancellation is coming, it may not be due to illness, but from something far more political and damaging behind the curtain.
Don't matter what drugs you take, it doesn't make you a better fighter. It might make you stronger, it might make you fit. It doesn't make you a better fighter, and that's proof. So until more news.
Usyk went all in, labeling Dubois a quitter on live camera. No hesitation, no diplomacy. This wasn't pre-fight hype. This was a public humiliation with a calm, sinister smile. When Usyk said Dubois finished on his knee and called him a little bit afraid, it hit like a psychological uppercut. That kind of language isn't random, it's a shot at Dubois' heart and reputation. What's more shocking is that Usyk said it with confidence, like he knows the pullout isn't about illness, it's about fear. Usyk isn't just preparing for a fight, he's preparing to expose someone he believes has already mentally quit. And here's the twist. If Dubois doesn't respond or show up, this narrative sticks forever. The Joyce fight flashbacks, the alleged fear, and now the silence, it all combines into a haunting pattern, and the public isn't forgiving. Usyk just rewrote the narrative, and unless Dubois flips the script, he'll be remembered not as the man who challenged Usyk, but the man who ran from him.
Does he deserve this opportunity? Or is there someone else more deserving? Joe Parker maybe? Or does Daniel deserve his shot?
Yeah, I think Daniel deserves, because Daniel from UK. It's interesting for
Tony Bellew came out swinging, shutting down every excuse Dubois fans have been clinging to. When he said protector means low, it was a direct shot at the narrative, trying to paint Dubois as a victim of a low blow. Bellew wasn't having it. He knows what happened in that first Usyk fight and reminded everyone that no matter the drama, the facts don't lie. Usyk didn't cheat. Dubois just couldn't finish the job. Bellew's blunt honesty cuts through the noise. He didn't defend Dubois, he exposed him. And now, with rumors swirling of another withdrawal, his words feel prophetic. Bellew painted Usyk as an elite technician, too smart, too skilled, too clean. So if Dubois walks away now, it's not about injuries or illness. It's about realizing there's no escape from what's coming. Bellew didn't just support Usyk, he buried every excuse Dubois had left. The truth is, the low blow saga was never the issue. The real issue might be courage.
Hard enough, he'll come across a completely different skill set than Oleksandr Usyk. You gotta remember he's been in there with him already.
Tony Bellew doubled down. This isn't about physical form, it's mental warfare. And Dubois? According to Bellew, he's still carrying ghosts. The demons from the Joyce fight, the knee against Usyk, and now the pressure of public scrutiny. Bellew said it straight, Dubois is the same fighter, and unless his mentality shifts, history will repeat itself. That's not analysis, that's a warning. This isn't just about jabs and footwork anymore. It's about psychological scars and a fighter at war with his own identity. Bellew painted a chilling picture of a man not ready for redemption, but trapped in hesitation. And now with talk of illness, pullouts, and fear swirling around him, Bellew's words hit harder than ever. If Dubois doesn't show up mentally, he won't show up physically either. Fans are starting to believe this fight won't happen at all, and if that's true, Dubois' mental state isn't just a side story, it's the reason the whole event might collapse.
If he can take a body shot.
But Daniel Dubois has got a lot of demons to revisit, and he's going to revisit them in this fight. I think he's in a different place mentally now than he was before the first fight. I don't want to say he's grown up and mature, because I think he's the same fighter as he was. It's just his mental approach is going to have to be different. So
Dave Coldwell gave Dubois a lifeline, but wrapped it in cold reality. Yes, he acknowledged Dubois is more confident now. Yes, he hinted that Usyk may be slowing after the brutal Fury Wars, but then he dropped the hammer, Usyk is still a different animal. That phrase changes everything. Coldwell isn't fooled by the hype. He knows that one punch won't be enough, and even if you believe the low blow was legitimate, Usyk still dismantled Dubois before and would likely do it again. What's worse, Coldwell subtly implies that Dubois' entire case rests on that one questionable moment. Remove it, and what's left? A man who folded under pressure and may be looking for an exit. The optimism was brief, but the truth hit hard. If Dubois steps into that ring again, he'll need more than confidence. He'll need transformation. Otherwise, Usyk will break him mentally and physically again. And if the fight never happens, that says everything.
Where Dubois is now, he's very confident, very bullish. But Usyk's older, he's had more wear and tear. The fights with Fury have taken a lot out of him. Don't underestimate that. But Usyk's he's a different animal. He's a different animal. And ultimately, you got to remember, take away that one shot whether you thought it was low or not.
Lennox Lewis gave Dubois the ultimate blessing, but the timing couldn't be more tragic. Just as the boxing world erupts with rumors of Dubois pulling out, Lennox stands tall and declares him the man who can get it done. It sounds like motivation, but now it feels like misplaced faith. Lennox spoke about pedigree, preparation, and championship mindset, but none of that matters if Dubois doesn't show up. The disappointment isn't just from fans, it's from legends like Lewis, who genuinely believed in the rise of a new British force. Lewis clearly wants to believe Dubois has transformed, that the ghosts of the Joyce and Usyk fights are behind him. But the whispers of cancellation, the illness, the silence, it all contradicts everything Lennox praised. The harsh reality is timing is everything in boxing, and right now, this praise might become a bitter reminder of what could have been. If Dubois does step away from this challenge, the words of Lennox Lewis will echo louder than any headline, not because he was wrong, but because he believed. And in this sport, when legends believe in you, failure hits even harder.
It's not an easy task, but he's definitely the man that can go through with it. He's done the work, he's gone through the pedigree, and he's a certified champion. So, I think he has big hopes on doing it. He's going to do it.
Simon Jordan hyped this as the battle of equals, but that fantasy is now under threat. He called both men physical specimens. He spoke of Usyk's maturity and Dubois' growth. But what happens to all that buildup when one of those specimens might be ducking out before fight night? Jordan painted a classic showdown, two gladiators clashing in a war of generations, style and legacy. Yet behind all the promotional polish, the real picture is getting uglier. Dubois isn't looking like a man growing into himself. He's looking like someone losing grip, mentally, emotionally, and possibly physically. While Jordan tried to hype the clash as proper, the current atmosphere feels anything but. Usyk's camp is stable, focused, and dangerous. Dubois, surrounded by confusion, excuses, and spiraling speculation. It's hard to take the word hell of a fight seriously when half of the equation is being accused of wanting out. Jordan's energy was passionate, but it now plays like wishful thinking. If Dubois walks, this won't be remembered as a super fight. It'll be remembered as the moment boxing lost one of its most anticipated wars to fear, chaos, and silence.
Usyk is a class act, a mature individual because he's older and wiser, comes from a completely different background. But Daniel Dubois is growing into himself. This will be one hell of a fight. This will be a proper fight, like all of the Usyk fights have been.
Tyson Fury didn't just wish Dubois luck, he issued a final warning wrapped in sarcasm. His words were coated in backhanded encouragement. Do your best, he said, but it didn't sound like belief. It sounded like a subtle nudge toward reality. Fury remembered the one moment Dubois had Usyk hurt, the infamous body shot that dropped him. And yet, even while referencing Dubois' one moment of hope, Fury couldn't hide his doubt. The tone was flat, the belief barely there. What Fury really said was clear. You had your shot, you didn't finish him, and now you're gonna try again. But that's not the only message buried in his words. This is the same Tyson Fury who allegedly advised Dubois behind the scenes to reconsider this fight. So now, with rumors of cancellation and injury flying around, his best you can suddenly feels prophetic. Almost like Fury saw this collapse coming. He knows the business. He knows when a fighter's mentally breaking, and in this moment, it's as if he's already saying goodbye to a fight he knows won't happen. The message is subtle, but devastating.
Who would I rather fight right now? Usyk. Because I want me revenge in England. That's all I want. I want a fair shout. And I don't believe I've got a fair shout the last 2 times.
This entire saga has spun completely out of control, and the silence from Daniel Dubois' camp is now deafening. From Eddie Hearn's cryptic warnings to Usyk's relentless taunts, from illness rumors to mental warfare, this fight is no longer just a contest between two men. It's become a psychological battlefield where one fighter looks ready to conquer and the other appears dangerously close to surrendering. The weight of the Joyce loss, the backlash from the Usyk stoppage, and now the fear of repeating history, Dubois carrying ghosts that could crush any heavyweight. And while legends like Lennox Lewis and Tyson Fury try to uplift or guide him, even their voices can't drown out the growing belief that this fight might collapse before it begins. If Dubois pulls out, it won't just be a scheduling change, it will be a legacy-altering moment. It will haunt his name in the British boxing storybook, mark him as the fighter who blinked when the lights were brightest. Meanwhile, Usyk stands like a cold, unshakable machine, focused, fearless, and already rewriting the narrative. The burning question now isn't whether Dubois can win, it's whether he'll even show up. And if he doesn't, boxing fans will be left with one brutal truth. Sometimes the scariest opponent isn't across the ring, it's inside your own head. This may be remembered not as the build-up to a war, but the unraveling of a man crushed under the pressure of expectation, silence, and fear.